Hello, my name is Brenda Tyler, and today I'm giving a presentation on visual design for instructional media. The presentation's developed for Dr. Mohammed Ibrahim in Educational Media 6303. I've titled my presentation Solving the Puzzle of Visual Design, and I'll be using Mayer's 12 Principles of Multimedia Learning. For this presentation, I developed a crossword puzzle incorporating the 12 principles Mayer suggests, and I've used the website Oh My Dots, which is a fast, free, and easy way to put a crossword puzzle together. The first clue, learning works best when it is focused on the user. And the answer to that crossword clue is personalization. In personalization, we use accessible everyday language. We want to consider the demographics of the audience, speak in the first person, and avoid formal language using conversational tones to engage the learner. Our second clue and second principle considered in this puzzle is spatial contiguity. We need to be very much aware of the space we have to present visual or graphic information, and they need to be kept close together in the frame. The text and visuals need to go together. Feedback needs to be placed alongside the relevant questions or answers, and we need to ensure that directions are presented on the same screen as in the activity. The second clue in the crossword puzzle is that people learn better when they already know the basics. Now, people in education will recognize this. Mayer terms it pre-training, and educators commonly call it prior knowledge. That is, people, not just students, but people learn better when they have a way to connect new information with information they already have stored. And so being aware that people need something to connect to better process new information, we consider using prior knowledge to stimulate the understanding of definitions, understanding of terms, understanding of concepts. We want to develop possibly a cheat sheet of terms and definitions to be presented in advance of the new information, and it might be helpful to develop an introductory module or bit of training to explain key concepts before starting the main program. The third clue in the crossword puzzle is that students learn best when words and pictures are presented at the same time rather than sequentially. This is called temporal contiguity. And to address this, developers need to ensure that voiceovers are timed with visuals or with animations. We need to place related text and pictures on the same screen, and simultaneous presentation of visuals and graphics allow learners to process the information together and build more meaningful connections. The next clue or principle is that high-quality visuals can be more effective than having a speaker's image, and Mayer calls this principle image. We need to limit the use of talking head videos to building connections and trust, and then select relevant and meaningful images that align with the instructional element so that students are more focused on figuring out what the picture means than they are in processing the information. Another principle suggests that information should be presented in coherent bite-sized chunks. This is called segmenting. And in this consideration, we consider that we don't want to include too much information in one lesson, in one slide, or in one visual. We need to allow users to control the pace by using next buttons or speed controls that the student should have access to. People learn best when real presenters make voiceovers. Mayer calls this principle voice. This suggests that you need to narrate your own audio content. High-quality microphones and audio editing software is important, and we see this on social media in videos that are presented by influencers. They are speaking directly to the audience in almost all the social media platforms, and we need to pay heed to this and use a similar approach in educational presentations. Students experience deeper learning from visual and spoken words rather than text and visuals. Mayer terms this principle modality. As you can tell, this is related to modes of learning, and educators already know that the modes of learning, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or combinations of those, are more effective if they can connect to the audience way of learning. And so we rely on visuals, images, and voiceovers while we limit the use of straight text. And we only use text to list steps or provide direction during a narrated presentation with visuals. This is no different than considering modes of learning when we're planning other lessons or presenting other kinds of information to our students. Learning is enhanced when cues are added to draw attention to vital information. Mayer calls this signaling. In order to help learners focus on the information that's being presented, we can highlight what's important, we can limit the information that's on the screen, and we can emphasize key points with arrows, call-outs, highlights, or bold text. People learn best from a combination of words and pictures. Mayer calls this multimedia. And of course, that's why we're here, learning about instructional media and technology and ways to make these tools more effective with our students. In Multimedia Learning, we present information in multiple formats, and this helps learners process and integrate information more effectively. We use a mixture of text or graphics and images. We incorporate visuals to illustrate key points, and the visuals should be selected so that they clarify meaning or enhance comprehension of the presentation. We learn best from a combination of spoken words and graphics. Mayer calls this redundancy. The addition of on-screen text may overwhelm learners, so we want to avoid presenting the same information in multiple formats simultaneously. Use either graphics or text, not both, to complement spoken presentations. And the focus should be on images or graphics in narrated presentations. Learning is more effective if unnecessary information is excluded. Back in the beginning of time, we had training that suggested we need to avoid bird walking or getting off the topic during presentations. To me, this is coherence. You stay with the topic. Words and visuals should be closely aligned and complement each other. We only use graphics or text if they support the learning goals, and we should use simple diagrams and infographics. I've simplified this conclusion a good deal, but my findings during research for this presentation led me to Mayer's principles, and I found the suggestion in a video within our lesson for this module. But I summed it up this way. Visual design is multimedia design. They go hand in hand. A combination of graphics and narration, according to Mayer, seem to result in higher levels and deeper levels of learning. I used several resources, Mayer's 12 Principles of Multimedia Learning. Oh My Dots is the platform for developing crosswords. The Digital Learning Institute is where I found Mayer's principles, and I really wanted to mention this website, Pixabay, because that's where I got my graphics free. Thank you for your attention.